Five, four, three, two, one.
Coming to you from Freedom Land Studios in Texas. This is the Chuck and Z Show. And now, here's Chuck and Z.
Oh, snap. There's just Z.
Chuck.
What up, everybody? Welcome to the Chuck and Z Show. Of course, I'm Chuck.
And I'm Z.
And today we are joined by producer Chaos. She doesn't need any introduction. And when everybody says that, they tend to introduce people. So I'm not going to do it. Here's Sharon.
The beautiful Sharon Klein.
I miss you guys.
We miss
So
you
nice
so
to see
much.
you.
Yeah.
It's so funny. That intro is like so interesting to me because it's so different from your previous one. But also, I have updated the new intro because I was really sick when I did that last one. So I can't wait for it to be like, okay, yes, I'm proud of that. I love the music you chose.
Sounds great, right?
Yeah, it sounds amazing.
And you sound amazing.
Oh, thanks. Well, I'm better, mostly.
Yay.
The allergies here. I know you all said that in Texas, there just aren't the trees, that are like here in Georgia, which is wild to me, but it's still yellow everywhere. This time of year is kind of like I take myself out of the voiceover game for a little bit, just try to get better, but it's been almost a month. But by the middle of May or beginning of May, it should start to calm down. Trying to imagine the landscape of where you are, where there aren't trees. It's crazy.
I mean, there are trees, but they're not as vibrant. They aren't as green. We don't have the big pine trees. And I think that's what mainly makes all of the pollen, right? The big pine trees. And so we have pollen, I've learned, but it's nothing.
Yeah, don't say that here.
I know. They're
Don't say you guys don't have pollen because they'll tell you real quick. Oh, yeah, we do.
You?
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's just not as bad, which is actually pretty, I like it.
If you had to compare, I'm sure it's not nearly as much as now. But
Did we lose Sharon?
We lost Sharon.
Okay.
What happened?
I don't know. Maybe she can come back on.
Okay, let's go back to you. That was odd.
Yeah.
Like she just dropped out. Oh, no. Well,
so the pollen.
Oh, there
Here
she
she
is.
goes.
All right.
I guess it was me. I don't know what happened.
Stop touching buttons, Sharon.
I didn't touch anything. I'm going to put my hands like I didn't even know that I could disconnect. So that's interesting. Okay. Hope that doesn't happen a lot. But yeah, I went riding this weekend and I was thinking about it every time I go out. There's sort of like, I'm going to pay the price, but it's okay. It's worth it.
Girl, that was us. I don't know, for some reason, like this weekend was gorgeous. We actually planned on riding on Sunday because we had a busy week during the week last week. We had our boss came down and we had a lot going on with work. And so Friday night comes around and we're just like dead. Saturday, I just want to veg out and recharge, not do anything. But we actually did some stuff around the house. And then Sunday came around and I'm just like, you know what? I haven't gotten a pedicure yet since I've been here.
Me either.
I haven't done this. I haven't done
My
that.
toes are gnarly.
Okay.
Like the self-care stuff that you're used to doing on a regular basis, I've kind of put off the whole time I've been here. So I did that, and that was actually very refreshing, and we got to enjoy the weather, and it was nice and a good 85, 86 degrees
Oh,
out.
wow.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
So we'll get to riding, but
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm thinking how much you have to balance yourself out. You have a
Yeah.
lot to balance, and it's not as enjoyable to ride when you feel like you have a million things that you should be doing. So I don't know. I feel like there are a lot of things that you have to deal with right now. And so
yeah.
trying to get yourself situated too, still, it takes so long to feel comfortable. And I don't know. I just think I guess I miss our weekly chit chats and keeping up with each other.
I know.
Yeah, I'm glad we can do this tonight.
Oh,
I mean, a
Sharon.
little bit, not you, Chuck. I was just talking to Z. Okay.
That's how it always goes. I'm always like just around.
No, no, you too, of course, of course. Um,
Yeah.
but tell me,
Well, well,
I would love to ask you questions.
oh,
If you don't
okay.
mind.
We're being interviewed, Z.
Well,
No, for
I'm
sure.
curious. My brain never sort of chills out. So I am curious about some of the things that you've noticed as being majorly different between here in Georgia and where you are now. Not so much landscape wise, I guess, or like allergy wise, but you had a really huge group of friends here that just loved you. And, you always could go somewhere to ride with people. And I'm just wondering, what's it like to rebuild or make new connections with people?
Yeah. We do have some friends here, and I feel bad because they're always inviting us out, and we're just like, we have stuff to do, but we'll get to that, and we'll be able to spend some time with them. Especially in a couple of weeks, we're going to the Fast Life camp out, which is in Oklahoma, and it's only like 2.5 hours, if at the
So
most,
crazy.
away from here. So
This is from your guest last week, right?
yeah,
You were talking about it. Yeah.
which is really cool because it's like going from here to the Dragon, right?
Yeah. So true.
Or from
What
where we used to live to the Dragon.
Yeah.
So
So you're riding there, right?
yeah, we're riding there, we're camping out, and it's a couple of day event, and then we'll be back here. And as far as people go, like, I feel that the people in Texas that are from Texas are super, super nice. Like, I barely ran into anybody that I felt like was off-putting or just like rude, other than driving. Which,
I heard those stories.
yeah.
Yeah, the driving is a bit much. Yeah.
But I also feel like they're like, move your ass, like,
No, I
get out the way.
I like that part of it. It's the part where they just change 8 lanes
Yeah,
without
That's
looking.
true.
That's the only part.
yeah. So, but it's kind of crazy to think that here people are more welcoming and friendly than in Georgia, which is the South.
Really?
Yeah.
I would agree. I think the people overall are nicer. Yeah. I grew up in the South, so maybe I'm just used to their level of nice. So a different type of nice is perceived as different or better. But I do feel like people are more willing to talk and even in our professional lives, going out and meeting new people in their working environment. I feel like most people are more willing to talk to you here than where we're from. And I don't know if Atlanta really qualifies, though. Atlanta's a whole different biosphere by itself,
It's not really the
There's so
South.
Yeah.
Because there's so many transplants. I mean, there are a lot of transplants here in Dallas too. But I think once you get, I think the difference is that people, when they move to Atlanta, they want to be who they are where they're from, right? They don't necessarily kind of adapt to the culture. Like when you come to Texas, you buy cowboy boots, you buy a cowboy hat, like you're going all in as a Texan, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's the difference.
Somebody asked me about that. They said, it's funny because Atlanta is full of transplants. As a matter of fact, it's more rare to say, hey, where are you from? And people say Atlanta. It's typically all over the country where people are from. But it is true that here people come here and they immediately adopt the culture. And someone asked me, they were like, why is that? Like people come to Atlanta and they represent the Cubs or they represent where they're from, or they mostly care about that. But you guys go to Texas and it's like, I'm almost a Texan. And you're like, everybody's got to get a cowboy hat or whatever. And I was like, come on, bro. Doesn't everybody want to be a cowboy? Doesn't everybody want to be a cowboy?
Yeah.
Well, okay. I mean, question.
Sharon's like,
I
no.
could be a cowgirl, cowwoman, person.
Okay.
God dang
excuse
it.
me, I'm sorry.
All right,
I
let
wasn't
me just-
being
okay.
inclusive. A cow them. whatever
Cow
they,
he, she.
how,
Cow he,
cow,
she.
whatever they identify as.
No, question though. Do you feel like everyone does? I mean, is it the stereotypical? They're wearing hats. They drive trucks.
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Really?
Yeah. Like I was watching some people get pulled over the other day and the freaking cops had a cowboy hat
Oh,
on.
dude
Oh,
was
wow.
a hoss too.
It was cool.
Dude was like jacked. He's like one of those guys that you see in a movie, like the guy that met in Predator when they first met each other. What was his name?
I don't know.
Not Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's Carl Weathers.
Oh, yeah.
He's
yeah.
a Carl Weathers looking dude. I know he just passed recently.
Carl
Carl Weathers was a great actor, but I mean, he was like big and jacked, and he was
Yeah.
walking like I'm on a mission. All he was doing was a traffic stop, right? But he was like, I'm serious. I'm serious about this traffic stop. Like a drill instructor coming up. Can I see your ID?
Right.
Wearing
my
a cowboy
God.
hat.
That's
Wearing
terrifying.
Wearing a cowboy hat. I'm like, I did all the things I did wrong. Here's a list. Because I don't want you to find out later.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Be
then you
mad,
have,
be mad at me that I didn't disclose it.
right. So,
Yeah.
and then like out making calls like in the field with my team, I'm usually like seeing, we dress business casual, right? So we have nice slacks on, a shirt, heels, whatever. We're out in the field and we run into the competition and they're wearing jeans and a nice shirt and some boots. And I'm like, okay, I see what I need to do now. I need to switch up my game a little bit.
Tim threw out cow they.
Oh,
Well, what
I'm
if-
like,
okay, this is getting complicated. What if the cow doesn't identify as a cow at all? What if it thinks it's a cat? It's a cow cat they.
We don't know.
I need a spreadsheet to keep up.
I'm kind of embarrassed that I even said that, but I was like, does everyone want to be a cowboy? I was like, yeah, I want to be a cowboy. Like it just took me a second.
It's
I've
more
been-
about
I've-
the
energy.
milieu of a
Oh.
cowboy.
What is that word? Holy cow. I'm using that
Milieu.
one. I love that. Look at you, Chuck. I love words.
I got a couple $10 words in the
Hey,
pocket.
Sesame Street. And
Oh
the
my
word
God,
of the
that
day is milieu.
Use it in a sentence. Sorry, I'm a word
do it.
fan.
That's a milieu. Let's see. What could it be? Country guy saying, I'm gonna mail you a letter later.
I don't think that's right. I don't. But I mean, it was an A for effort, A plus for effort. That's what you
I
had.
gave it a shot.
You did. Well, no, I mean, it's interesting because if I come visit you all, I would want to bring my cowboy boots. I would want to feel like I'm
If-
part of the group. I mean,
Yeah.
if in the future, like in the next couple months, if I can get my schedule together, I would love to come visit you. And I bring my cowboy boots.
Yeah, we can go line dancing. Want to?
Yes. I want to do all the things.
Okay.
All the things.
Can
For
I
sure.
Can I just take a moment to recognize that Producer Chaos here is probably our best setup guest to date? I mean, look at this. Look at this setting. The set and setting she's got
Wait,
going on
wait.
here.
Got the Harley.
She's got the light. She's got a professional level mic. She's got the windows blacked out. She's lit up well. Of course. She's like, oh my God.
I learned from the best, Chuck. I learned from the best.
After chastising so many people coming on the podcast, she's like, I'm going to get this right.
Oh, I was ready like an hour ago. I was like, I Zoom called with my brother. I was like, you can hear me, right? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay. Yeah, I gotta have to make sure.
Perfect.
I know what it's like on the other end. I know
These
where
are
you're like, oh
stressful.
no.
Oh, Tim let us know that he is Producer Chaos fan club member number 1.
Okay.
He's got, I
Oh.
think he's got the coin and everything.
There's a coin. Can I have?
It's gonna get-
Can I have a coin?
It's going to get weird when you see your face tattooed on people.
With that smile.
Better get your headshots out there so people have something to go off of. Or
What
else,
is
they're
happening right now?
or else they're going to do what I do, which is steal your pictures from Instagram.
I noticed that, and then there was one where I was like, "Where did you get this photo? It's like a 10-year-old photo."
I know
Like,
he
I'm
went
gonna
way
get you
back
some
in the
new stuff.
archives.
You know, my mom does that to me. Like anytime I like post something on social media, like "Happy birthday, mom!" Right? I'm always like taking a picture of my mom with me.
Yeah.
Like when I was young, when I was a baby, right? And so after maybe like 10 years of posting that type of message, she called me And she's like, "You need some more recent pictures." Who are you worried about, Mom?
I know, right?
I'll get myself together. I don't like to be in the pictures. It's funny because when I was producing some stories for CNN, I thought I would be the one that was in front of the camera and talking about what the story is. And when it came down to it, I really didn't want to do that. I wanted the story to tell
I
the
love
story, like the whole thing. And I still am that way. This is not my funnest. Like when I was doing the producer chaos stuff and I was off camera, that was great because I didn't have to worry about nothing. I could show up looking whatever, just drink, whatever.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm like, oh my God, it's like my lip gloss too much. It's just it's stressful.
That's because you're a medium, Sharon. You're a channel.
Oh my God. I was like, how do you know my size? Like, what are you talking about here, Chuck? What do you know about me?
Oh my God.
Am I a medium?
You're a
Am I a
conduit.
medium?
You're a way for other people to get their stories out. You didn't want to be the show. You didn't want to be the hero. You just wanted to
No.
allow other people to shine. And that works for people like me who always wanted to be the show.
That's why you do so well in your voiceovers and things. 'Cause,
Aw,
you
you
know, you don't
guys,
have to
I've
worry about
missed you.
this.
I've missed you so much. Well, thank you. And I really still, with the interviews that I do with Fearless Formula on the Business Radio X network, I really enjoy highlighting other people. That's been the most fun for me is not actually talking about myself as much as it is tell me what it's like to be you, which is kind of what I wanted to do with you guys tonight because I don't know what it's like, how things are different for you. I'm always in the superlative mind, like what's the best, what's the least, what makes you the happiest, what was your favorite ride you've done so far, things like that.
Well, all right. So we'll talk. Well, I guess we can talk about our transition to Texas a little bit, which wasn't necessarily easy.
Yeah.
It's a little difficult. And then
So cryptic.
we can talk about just some of the other things. I'll tell you one of the things that I've noticed is I'm gonna gain weight here.
Dude,
Why?
Oh my
Food.
God, Sharon, the food.
there's hardly
So it
a
is bigger
bad-
in Texas, is that right? Everything is bigger in Texas?
Oh, I got bigger.
He did not.
I'm gaining weight.
You do have to
What?
watch. It's not just necessarily the amount, the portions. It's just that everything is great. Like I've only had like one bad meal, and it was my fault because I chose something that I normally wouldn't have chosen. Because I like to, explore. But yeah, if you order barbecue, if you have barbecue anywhere, you basically are ordering for two.
Yeah.
Really?
It's huge. The barbecue here is huge,
Okay.
but delicious.
And all good. Like I literally haven't had bad barbecue here yet. I imagine as I get more, I don't know, acclimated to what good barbecue is, I guess is how Texas would say it. maybe I'll eventually be able to tell the differences, but I grew up on Carolina Gold, so
Yeah.
that's what I'm used to.
Yeah.
But the brisket here, I haven't had a bad brisket, and the burnt in sandwiches. That is not something that is common in barbecue joints where we're from. I think a few may have them,
Yeah.
but you're just right up my alley. I mean, it's like the ends that are just a little because I like a really good bark.
Yeah.
I like a good bark, but it's like so well charred and then crispy, and in the middle is succulent, and like you take a bite of it, and it's just like
Yep. Delicious.
so good. Burnt end sandwiches, y'all. That's where it's at for me.
All right. So have you had friends recommend places for you to go eat? Do you know, like a hole in the wall place and maybe not a chain or something?
Yeah. There are a ton of like places here that are local to the Dallas. Like where we work in Addison, it's supposedly the most restaurants per capita in a city.
I think they literally call it like the restaurant mile. Like back in where I grew up in South Carolina in Columbia, which the whole place is like a mile, but they used to call like the auto mile, right? Because that's where all the car dealers were.
Right.
Here they've got like the restaurant mile, and there's just restaurant after restaurant after restaurant.
Yeah. You don't
And they're all
necessarily have
good.
to eat at the same restaurant.
Oh,
twice.
okay. Got you.
You know what I mean?
So if I don't eat meat, am I out of luck?
I forget that you're vegetarian. or
Well, I'm a
pescatarian.
pescatarian. Yeah. I don't. So,
There's some good. There's this place called the Hudson House,
what are
which
you
is
saying, Chuck?
I love you, Sharon.
it's a seafood restaurant, but they have like great burgers and things like that too. That we just found that out. I had an amazing ahi tuna salad the other day.
Oh, okay. Oh, I can live then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously Tex-Mex is great here, but even the small little off the beaten path sidewall looks like it's
Yeah.
a chain, but it might just be a local Texas chain. Even those are really good.
Yeah.
I have not. Again, I have not had. Well, the one you were talking about. So there was one place that we ordered from that advertised Nashville chicken, right? So we're from Atlanta, which is about 3.5 hours from Nashville. We've had Nashville chicken. It's okay, right? Sometimes I really like it, but that was not Nashville chicken. It didn't.
Oh.
That's the only bad meal we've had. It just sounded like they just were like hot. Just make it hot. They forgot the flavor part. Just hot.
It did have flavor, but it was super hot.
It's
Well,
interesting.
I couldn't taste it as my tongue melted off.
I don't know. It's interesting how when you get acclimated to a place and that feels more normal, like someone from Nashville would be able to come to Texas and be like, no, this is not the thing. But if you don't know, if you're not from Nashville, you would say this is Nashville chicken. So I'm I'm excited actually when I come visit you.
I know.
But yes, to answer your question, we've had so many people recommend like places. They're like, you got to try this spot, you got to try this spot, and we're trying to get to all of them, but there's so many. Like when you open your, back me up on this, Z. Like when you open up your app in Atlanta for DoorDash, there might be like 2 of that style of restaurant in every category.
Yeah.
But here, like the whole scrolling page
You have
is
like
this.
top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the top 10 Mexican restaurants, the top 10 seafood. So you really are like going through lists if you're ordering DoorDash, like what? And then you're like, what do I order? Do I just stick with the same things that I know?
Yeah.
Because obviously you don't want to do that. I know what Chili's tastes like. I know what, all
Yeah.
the chains. I want to order something different. And then going through the reviews, I'm just like, you know what? This one.
You can't go wrong.
So I'm
Right.
gonna disappoint Tim, who's listening and commenting, in that I haven't had In-N-Out Burger here yet.
Oh, here? Yeah.
Yeah, I've had In-N-Out one time. Where were we at? Salt Lake.
Yeah, we're in Utah.
I didn't see what the big fuss was about. I thought it was okay.
There's like one like a mile away from the office actually.
We haven't had it yet.
Whataburger. Now that's a Texas thing. So
They just opened one on not far from us. It was a big. It was a
Holy
big.
shit! Did you
to
see
do.
that? Did you see that just now? What I just did?
What?
no.
What'd you do?
Okay, when Sharon started talking, I looked to the producer's chair.
Oh.
Oh,
I
Chuck!
straight up looked over like I was gonna.
What's that
Damn.
called? Palatovs.
I got that Asimov's dog, whatever.
Pavlov.
Pavlovian.
Pavlovian.
Pavlov.
I said
Yeah,
Palatov.
yeah, she's got it.
I was like Molotov.
Wait, she's Malatov, threw
Cocktail.
me off. Then I'm like Asimov. Which isn't even right there. So
Oh my gosh,
that's not
that
even how you
hurts
say
my heart.
Asimov. Isaac Asimov. That's not how you say it, is it?
I don't
How
think
many?
so.
By the way,
How many of those have you?
a couple.
That's amazing.
I got all excited about seeing Sharon again.
Oh,
He's like, you're gonna appear in that chair over there.
But yes,
kind of hurt my heart.
I had a Pavlovian response to your voice just now, Sharon. I literally looked to like I was gonna look at you while you were talking. I saw 2 empty chairs. Like, holy shit.
That hurts my heart. Maybe I'll be able to come and we'll do a show. As if
When you
I'm really
come, you
there.
have to do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll have
Even
to
if
make
it's
that
on a
happen.
weekend, we'll just record it and then.
And notice I even let what I just said go by without a "that's what she said" because it was so earnest.
Wait, what did I say?
No, what I said.
Did I say? What did you
Maybe-
say?
Maybe when I come.
Maybe
said
when
when
I
you-
come, we can do that or something.
You have to do it.
Dang it! God dang it! Wait, I kind of miss
Such a-
it.
Such a
miss
missed
you.
opportunity.
I know.
It was too sincere.
It was too sincere. What you were saying was so awesome that I couldn't make a joke out of it.
I know.
All right, are we done now? You can now. From now on, it's fine.
Okay.
I've missed it.
So yeah, the move was rough. I'll go ahead and say that. First of all, we had a little bit of a truncated timeline because typically you post your house, you have 30 days,
Yeah.
right? So, and we kind of did. We had 3.5 weeks, and then we were like, oh crap, is this house going to sell? And then someone was like, here's cash, get out.
I know.
Get out.
All cash,
What are you
all
doing?
cash.
2 weeks. You need to be out.
Which was amazing. No, not even. Was it 2 weeks?
I think we packed that entire house.
Yeah. In 2 weeks, yeah.
I think it was 2 weeks because we were still doing a show, and you were
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, we're gonna be out in like 10 days."
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
So I didn't get to do my typical Chuck thing, which is research 30 different companies 10 ways to Sunday to make sure that they
Yeah.
were good companies.
Storage unit,
Storage.
apartment, corporate housing. We just kind of flew by the seat of our pants with that, which really bit us in the butt because
Which is why I research, because my initial I'm going to choose this. It's always wrong.
I know.
Like, so I don't trust myself to go with my initial, I'm going to use this storage unit. No, because that's Chuck's law. Murphy's law is if it possibly could go wrong, it will, or whatever. Mine's, it will. It will.
No doubt about it.
Right. So I have to research, and I didn't get to do any of that with any of the stuff that we chose. And did any of them go right?
Negative.
Did any of them just go easy?
No.
Yeah.
It was a very stressful time. So we're actually good now. We've been good for about 3 weeks. We've been in this
We're suffering
in
from
this house.
PTSD.
We do.
I've gone through all the liquor, Sharon.
Listen, we talked briefly about your move on the phone,
Yeah.
and you were recommended some places. So what are you supposed to do when you don't have enough time to research? You go with what's recommended, but what was recommended was for your storage unit to be in a really sketchy area where people were living in the storage units, and you had a theft. I mean,
Yeah.
terrible.
So it's crazy when you go up to your storage unit to unlock it, and as you're, getting ready, somebody pulls up to another one, and you're kind of like, why is there a car pulling up to a storage unit and beeping the horn? Like they pull it up like it's a Monday.
Well, first of all,
beep.
you're leaving some stuff out because that's the second time you pulled up to the storage unit.
Yeah.
The first time you pulled up, the freaking storage unit had no lock on it.
Yeah.
When our movers put a lock on the unit.
All right. So real quick, just full story. I had to do. I'll try to break this down as quick as I can.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. You're wanting to add, because you're right. The level of annoyance does require the backstory a little bit.
Yeah.
So we had to pick this place really quick. We picked it. It actually wasn't terrible, but I had to pick it quick. So I originally was going to go with a different one, but they tried to overcharge. They tried to charge me double in order to go there. So I picked CubeSmart, which has a good
Has a good rating and reviews and all that kind of stuff, right?
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
they're-
there's several around. Yeah.
So anyway, so we pick them, and then whenever my guys get there, they're like, "Hey, we got a problem." And the first problem is that because I had to get 3 units. One of these units has poop in it, like
Jeez.
like
No.
like a human poop,
No.
like a human went in there and made a duty.
Jeez. What?
It's like, did you know that your storage area is backed up to a homeless encampment?
Yeah, no,
No, didn't
No,
know
I
because
did
we weren't
not.
there. We didn't know.
I didn't know that,
Yeah.
or I wouldn't have chosen it. Oh, and by the way, did you know there's not a fence all the way around it? No, didn't know that either. Anyway,
And no cameras either, right? There are no
no
cameras.
cameras. So I
Okay.
I went through a massive argument with them, trying to get them to go do all this extra stuff to try to get it done, and finally got it all worked out. Anyways, thought it was all taken care of. They told me, "Oh, we're going to go out there right now, Mr. Flaw, and we're going to put locks on it and blah, blah, blah." And none of that happened. So we get there and there's no lock on it. I look in there. It actually looked like I couldn't tell if anything was gone.
Yeah.
Right. But there was no lock on it. So But I was like, count my stars, put a new lock on it. We go back. I went by every day, y'all.
Until we went
into the house. I went by every day and checked on that thing. And then we get there, and as I'm unloading it, somebody pulls up to a unit that's like 2 units down from me. Like it's just a normal day. Like they're pulling up in a neighborhood, right?
It is their neighborhood.
It's like when you were younger and like John came to pick you up for work in the morning,
Yeah.
right? He just rolls up, beeps the horn. I'm like, what are they beeping the horn for? Then the unit door goes up and a guy just walks out, ready for work. Well, I'm going to work. And I was like, what in the world? There's people living in these units. And then one of them's like, hey, that's your unit? I was like, yeah. He goes, it get broken into again?
Oh my God.
We're like, what
No.
in the world is going on here?
I was like,
Twilight Zone.
again, how many times did you break into my unit? That's my first.
Yeah, exactly. You told on yourself.
That's
Oh
what
my
I'm saying.
God.
How many times did you, what did you steal? Just go ahead and tell me now so I'll know or whatever. Ended up, they stole my grill. Just bought that grill. It was like $1,500 grill.
Sell a grill, sell a fan. All things that you would need to survive in a storage unit if you were living in
The
it.
guy needed a stove.
If you start smelling
Yeah.
barbecue, you'll be like,
The guy's like, hey, this unit's working out.
He's like, I got those fresh Texas burnt ends. You know what I mean? just the way you like them, Chuck. Nice and crispy.
I bet that dude makes some good barbecue. He's like, so I literally, I'm like, by the way, I'm walking down to see if I can get a glimpse into this dude's house,
Yes.
right?
his studio flat.
His studio apartment. He's like, what? It's 900 square feet. What? It's awesome. As I'm walking to it, I pass a shiv.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no joke. I took a picture
real
and it was
one?
like, no, a for real shiv. A for real shiv. I don't want to
God.
explain how I know that this was a shiv, but I have a picture of it and you know it's a shiv.
Was it a toothbrush like sharpened?
It's a melted down toothbrush around a really sharp point.
Yes.
Like that someone would pull out of a spring of their bed.
Yeah.
And then
A
melt
mattress?
something around it so it makes a fucking stabbing weapon.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You pick it
I
up?
walked past a ship. No, I didn't pick it up. I'm not trying to get hepatitis. I'm not trying to get hepatitis A, B, C, D, any of them. I don't want any of them.
LMNOP.
I don't give a shit. I don't pick an alphabet. I don't want that hepatitis. I don't want it. Anyways, all right. So
That's
I,
area
as I'm-
number one.
so I do like the whole like, oh, I'm not looking in your house storage unit as I walk by it, but I kind of do the
Side eye it.
dude has a TV set up, a bed. I didn't see a grill, but I didn't know my grill was gone at that moment. Or I would have been looking for it. I probably would have thought it was his grill if I even saw it.
Right.
Anyways, so stole my grill.
Yeah. Needless to say, we got out of there with the quickness.
Yeah.
And also got out of the corporate housing with the quickness. Because corporate housing wasn't as corporate as you would expect. It felt like a really it just didn't feel right.
You ever seen a shelf, Sharon? A shelf that has 82 coats of paint on it? Because
I mean, I'm picturing it.
Because instead of like putting a new shelf in, they just repaint it over and over and over again.
Or like a door that maybe was like
Cracked.
and like maybe somebody punched a hole in it, but like they didn't bother
This
to
is good.
replace the door. You
This is
just
good for corporate.
paint over it. Just keep painting.
This is corporate housing.
Oh.
This sounds good.
And guess what? Everybody was my height because everything
Dude, the shower head was here.
that's in the shower.
So when I'm taking a shower, I'm like this. And then it had the smallest toilet ever.
So
It was just terrible.
everything was built for my size, and that's fine. But it was just not the best environment for
And-
our peace of mind.
And I was like, I chose a gated community because it has gates, right?
Yeah.
The only thing about your house has doors and you close them so people can't get in. So they were like, it's a gated community because I complained. They're like, it's a gated community. He's like, but they're never shut.
Right.
You'll never close them. So what good are they? Doesn't seem gated if the entrance isn't.
And there are multiple entrances too, because this place is like pretty big. It has like, I don't know, maybe 1,000 units in it. So
Yeah. So it was. So there's so much other stuff too that went on with this move that was crazy.
yeah.
But I'm already feeling like I'm complaining too much.
Well, I actually want to. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, what, me? Go ahead. Okay.
Yes.
Of course.
So I wanted to ask you, you didn't have your bikes obviously in the storage unit, right? Like those are the most important things in the world. So,
Goodness, no.
right. Okay. So that's helpful. But also I know that the adjustment to making something feel like home is, it takes time and it's a challenge, but have you had moments where you're on your bike and it feels like, oh, okay, this is what's familiar and comfortable to me? Kind of regrounding who you are.
Just the bike.
Just the bike. All the
Honestly.
landscape is different. All the roads are different.
Yeah. Yeah. It's honest. Like even the house that we're in now, it's still taking a little bit of time to feel like, oh, this is where I come every day. Like this is where I lay my head. These are the neighbors and this is my ride to work. And I still haven't gotten used to it. I still don't have that connection yet, which it'll come in time, But as far as the bikes go, thank goodness our friends, Jake and Lo, kept them for safe and sound for us. And we actually, when we drove here with the trailer, they were so gracious to keep our trailer on the property, and then our bikes were in the garage, and it was we just couldn't be more thankful to have friends that would do that for us. So, thank God they were all safe and sound. And
Have you
go ahead.
have you been able to go to I think there were some bike nights that I had seen you post about.
Yeah.
What is that like as well?
So it's different. It's really cool. Like the people are cool. Like we know a few of the people that are there, and then it's also trying to get to know everybody else. And it's so different because our bike nights are, especially with Alita's bike nights, they're all like, I'm involved in it. So I'm like,
Yes.
walking around, trying to make everybody feel comfortable and like, welcome.
Take a bunch of pics.
Yeah.
Yeah, being social.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then like bike nights that like Killer Creek would have or other venues in the area, we knew everybody, right? So it's just kind of like a big hang and reconnecting with all those people. And here it's kind of like we're the new kids in town.
So no one's like chatting with you.
New kids on the block.
Yeah, no, they're cool. And they're like trying to, connect with us, and we hung out and talked a lot, but it's just a different scene. So this one's really like kind of like it's a Harley scene. It's called T-Bar Tuesdays, and it's downtown Dallas, and everybody has cool bikes, whether they be lowriders or Sportsters or road glides and all kind of bikes. And but it's not as well. The ones that we went to just recently, it wasn't like as diverse in bikes as like the bike nights that we're used to, like with the sport bikes and the Indians and the Triumph. It's just different.
Just kind of Harley heavy bike.
Yeah.
Bike night. Okay,
Harley
interesting.
heavy. But also it was, the first of the season. So, and it was, the weather here is insane. Like this morning, it was like, it's not going to be rainy, but it'll be kind of cloudy, and it kind of drizzled and rained. One day it was like, no rain. It like thunderstorm in the middle of the day. Like, what do I prepare
You cannot
for?
plan. You cannot plan.
Yeah, no, the guys that do T-Bar Tuesday, that's a really cool bike night, but it is kind of mostly a performance scene most people, like you're right, most people do have built bikes.
Yeah.
But I don't think they would have a problem with other types of people coming, but most people, but they don't. And I know what you're saying, because like even I've talked to like Jake and other folks about that we're so used to like seeing Triumphs and BMWs and all types of bikes, you know, versus it being very brand centric. That's not something that we've typically have experienced. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I mean, I think it's a great bike night, and there's amazing people like Jason, all the guys that put that on are awesome, and you know, we really enjoy going. It's just it is very, so far it's been Harley centric so far.
Yeah, it's just different, and you just have to kind of.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not at all. I mean, I ride a Harley. Hello.
Yeah, I mean,
which I'm cool with.
Yeah, no, it's not that it's just I'm just trying to. Like you were, I think you were just trying to demonstrate
Explain.
what the difference is a little bit.
Right.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't.
That's interesting.
Quite frankly, if I'm being truthful about that, though, how many different types of bikes have you seen around here? Like Texas is one of the top 3 as far as ownership in motorcycles.
I've
but
seen some different bikes.
you have? I haven't really. I don't think I've seen a single like BMW or anything like that.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of adventure bikes, a couple of scooters.
We were riding down, and I was like, "Oh, that's that Moto Guzzi that I rode." It was the same blue, like the green and gray Moto Guzzi when we were driving the other day. And I was like, "Oh, that's a Moto Guzzi," because I remembered it because that's one that I tried out.
But wouldn't you say that like in Atlanta, that if you say you have a big group together, half are going to be Harley, the other half are going to be all different types of bikes.
Yeah.
Whereas here, I think it's more like 80% Harley.
So far.
So far, what we've seen.
Yeah. And we haven't really been exposed a lot to the
We're barely here.
bike scenes.
We're barely here. Good point.
So.
True.
And it's only the friends that we know here that we're hanging out with.
That's true.
Which
too.
ride Harley.
Yeah,
right?
that's true. That's
so
true.
I don't know.
We have
honestly.
we have a curated group that
Yeah.
we've seen thus far. But I know that we got to get out and ride some, because I'm missing the mountains. I'm missing the curves. Side roads here are not that much fun.
Sharon, you would die.
Why?
Just because of like how the roads ride here. There's something with the roads, and I think we talked about this on the last podcast, but how there's so many like big trucks that ride the roads and the highways. They're kind of like just a lot of dips and holes, potholes and stuff, and that's how the back roads are. Exactly the same. Like the roads are all broken up, and you'll find a road off in a pasture somewhere, and it's just crazy. So
Yikes. So one of the best things about those back roads is the twisties, as opposed to being on a highway, constantly going straight, which can be such a grind. But taking the back roads is the most fun,
yeah.
But if they're treacherous, then they're not fun. I mean,
and just to be fair, we're only talking about the roads that we've experienced thus far. Like we went up to Sherman, and those roads weren't bad. We mentioned that last week, and we've got some other rides we're getting ready to do. I know that we want to go down towards the Austin area. I've heard there's hills down there, and then east, apparently there's some good riding out in Oklahoma and a few other places.
Yeah, Arkansas is not too far. So
yeah. So we have not experienced much. I don't want to make it seem that way, but
No.
but all of Dallas right now feels like a construction zone. Like every corner, some lane is shut down because they're under construction.
Which is crazy because that's how Atlanta feels, right?
always,
When you're
yeah.
riding through Atlanta, you're like,
Yeah.
okay, so are they ever going to stop working on this highway?
No, they're never. Yeah, it's never really feels like they've completed whatever project they've been working on for like 6 years,
Yeah.
You just get used to where the construction is, and you kind of assume that's kind of the permanent way it's going to be.
So I think that that's what my problem is, because I'm so used to knowing and being able to kind of like shift if the construction moved from the left lane to the right lane. I know that, right? And here, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know the roads that well.
Yeah.
I've kind of been able to like remember certain things, but the GPS would take you a different route home every day if you let it. And I think it's just not being familiar with the area in order to say, okay, I know to avoid this side of town, or I know to avoid this and that in order, to get to where I'm going and feel like I'm not in a construction zone the whole way there.
And the other thing I'll say too is growing up in a small town in South Carolina, which was, not big at all. And then, moving to Columbia, I lived right outside of Charlotte, and I lived in Greenville, and then Atlanta, right? So I thought going from the Columbia metro area to the Atlanta metro area was this massive leap as far as the size of the city.
It was, yeah.
Like it took, I lived there for what, 10 years? And in that 10 years, around year 7, I felt like I was getting to where I kind of had the whole area. Oh, I know how to get here. Oh yeah, this is Marietta.
Yeah.
Cool, right?
Right?
I kind of, like around year 7, I felt like I had it. I feel like whereas Columbia was a 10th the size of Atlanta when I got there, I'm sure that ratio is off, but whatever it was.
Yeah.
Dallas seems like it's 100 times bigger than Atlanta.
It's massive.
No way.
So big and so spread out. Like there are times that I'm like, I'm still in fucking Dallas. How am I still in Dallas?
Yeah.
I've been driving for an hour and a half. How am I still here?
I know. And then all the little like small towns that they've kind of made around the area. So we live in North Dallas, which is apparently the most populated and concentrated part of town. So that's why we have all the traffic, and it's just kind of like the newer area. And they're actually putting in a Universal Studios in 2025
Wow.
in like up where we are,
Yeah.
Oh,
That's going to be fun.
which is insane. So it's going to be even more, crazy. But there's a Six Flags here, and we haven't even been to that part of the town where it is. And then there's Fort Worth, which is this whole other side of Dallas,
And it's not like everybody would say that about in the perimeter, outside the perimeter. It's like, oh, it's a whole other side. Oh, Buckhead's a whole, no, it's not the same.
No.
But it's this, like you almost need a passport to travel between the areas because they're so different.
Yeah.
They're all Dallas, but they're so different and it's so spread out. Like what you said about the GPS. It's not that like, I don't know. It's like the most advanced guidance technology ever. And it's like, I got 9 different ways to go. I'm picking one.
Yeah.
Right? That's how it feels every day.
Yeah.
It's like it's got so many different ways to get us to where so you can tell I'm not used to being in a producer's desk. I keep it in mind. I'm trying to do you proud, Sharon.
yeah, I know. It's like it's not easy, is it? It's not easy.
It's so difficult. What do I do with my hands?
I know.
I know.
Do you feel like every weekend you have something you need to be doing to explore more of where you are, or like you were saying, you
Oh,
haven't
I
been here,
wish.
you haven't been there?
Yeah, I want to. I wish I had the time, and energy.
I know.
Right.
I'm an energy conserver as well for that very reason. It's like if I'm too tired, like I'm not going to ride. I'm not going to do all the things that I like.
This has been the most taxing move I've ever been through. Like just getting into the house, getting everything set up, getting everything unpacked. It's been something else. I think last week is when we finally kind of looked at each other and felt like, okay, we're 90%.
Can breathe.
Yeah. Like finally, I don't have to look at a ton of boxes everywhere, and I can clean up. I can put things where I want to put them, and we'll get there. And it'll start to feel like home when we start to hang out with friends and have all that going on. But we're used to being in our little secluded area, up in the poorly painted studios where we really didn't have, like, if we wanted to get out, we could, and we did. But at the same time, we could, just kind of hole up at home and not have to worry about anything that's going on.
I do. Again, look, you're going to miss where you're from, right?
Yes.
I obviously miss the fact that I could take a left and I'm in the North Georgia mountains, doing 70 at the apex. Take a right, I'm driving across the dam at Lake Lanier at sunset.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's yeah, we're gonna miss that, but I'm sure we're gonna find some places here too,
Yeah.
no doubt. But I think we were very spoiled with the type of riding we had, and it has given me a little bit more of an appreciation. As much as I love Georgia back roads to begin with, this has given me even a greater appreciation for those roads.
I know. It's so funny. I have people that message me all the time. They're like, "What? I never thought you would move. You move? Like why?" And I'm like,
People
"Well, I
come to
mean,
our area, yeah, to ride. People
mhm.
come, yeah.
Exactly. There's just so much there. But I'm excited to kind of get out and explore kind of like the Western states, you know, Colorado, you know, New Mexico,
Oh wow,
Arizona, Utah, and all that's like right there. So that's going
how
to be exciting
fun!
too.
Yeah, I rode. Presley and I rode to Dahlonega yesterday, it was like the first really nice warm day. It was like
Mm-hmm.
maybe 83,
Mm-hmm.
84, and I think I said in my headset to him like probably 10 times, "Oh my, I am so happy right now." Like I just
Oh, I
was
love
so
that.
joyful, and I was able to ride the Sportster, which is the Lita's bike that I won. It's a '96 Sportster. It's running great, and it's
Yeah.
so nimble, and I can lean so far on it. So I actually was
Mm-hmm.
thinking of you, Chuck, because with the Fat Boy, I had lowered the shocks so that I can't really lean so much because I'm
Mm-hmm.
short. So with the sports with the Sportster though, I can, and like through these curves, I was really just really
You
going
know what's
fast.
crazy about that? Because like when you when you compare the Sportster to the Fat Boy is actually lower than the Sportster,
That's true. That's true.
and it's because of like the seat, right? The seat on the Sportster is slimmer, and so your
Yeah.
legs don't spread as you know what I mean. So your feet can hit the
Keep
ground.
going. I got it. I got
I
it.
didn't
That's
even
what
say
she
it
said.
this time.
Loaded.
I
I
didn't
got
even
one
say it this.
loaded.
But seriously, because like I was going through some pictures like from back in the day when I had a Sportster, and I was looking at the way I still tiptoed on the Sportster when I didn't need to. If I had a slimmer seat, it wouldn't have been that way, right? And on my Road Glide, it's taller than the Sportster as far as from the ground, but it's wider. And so that's why I'm tiptoeing as far as that goes. So it's just weird when it comes to riding different bikes and kind of having that
Yeah, because
understanding.
I
But
would love
also,
to take the Sportster on the Tail of the Dragon. Wait, go ahead.
you
What
could
also?
totally
What?
do that. But I'm just saying, like, also just kind of the experience that you have and the knowledge that you have riding for a while,
Mm.
you get to understand the different riding, like the sitting and
It's true. It's true.
all that.
It's a completely different feeling bike, but I just really appreciated um, feeling strong. I'm not the strongest person, so I feel like I can really maneuver this bike. If the
Mm-hmm.
Fat Boy, which you have seen happen to me, starts to tip in any way, shape, or form,
Yeah.
I do not stop that thing. Like I just
No.
watch it go and I go with it. And then Chuck comes to my rescue. It's great. This
I was
is
just
our deal.
telling Z the other day. I was like, Sharon. She's the one of the weakest people I know.
Stop. No, you did not.
She's so weak.
He didn't, Sharon. He's
Why do you say things like that, Sharon?
I want the
You're
thing
a
is,
strong woman.
okay,
But I
that's
wouldn't
fine.
try to catch the Fat Boy either.
No, it's 800 pounds or something. But like the Sportster is so much, I'm more nimble on it, and I feel like I
Yeah.
can maneuver it better. And so anyway, I'm just really enjoying that bike, probably for the first time consistently since I won it like 5 years ago. So it's
Oh.
been a blast, and I thought of you all as well yesterday because I'm like I would love to take the curves on Tail of the Dragon and just really power through them and not feel like, oh no, I scraped another footboard. Like, because
Mm-hmm.
that's what happened when we did the last
Yeah.
time. I'm like, everyone heard that, I'm sure, as we're going around. But
Those are badges of honor, Sharon.
Yeah. No.
Scraping those
oh
pegs.
yeah, that's what I
Burn your
call that.
leg. Drop your bike. It's all part.
Well, I'm saying scraping pegs, though.
Oh, scraping
Scrape-
pegs. Yeah.
Sounds like a band. Sounds like a band name.
It
Scraping
does.
pegs. Sounds like a good podcast name. Scraping pegs.
Mm,
Oh
Two hell yeah
damn.
brothers just talking shit.
scraping pegs.
Yeah, that's what I say. Anyways, well, so just to kind of summarize, moving here was rough.
I'm
The
sorry.
people are super nice. Food is amazing. the what we're doing for our profession is catching fire, so that's good. And yeah, we haven't found the good road yet, but I have hope.
We will. We
Have
definitely
you
will.
been have you been to the Harley dealership that's in Dallas, or are there several? I don't know.
And
There are several.
yeah,
There
Oh,
are several. But no, we haven't done any. What's
we
crazy
did
here?
one. We went to
Oh, we went up to
Texoma.
Texoma and Sherman, which is about an hour away from where we are. But that's the only kind of Harley. I forgot about. I didn't forget, but
Stunt show.
forgot. Yeah.
it was a stunt show. Fun.
Yes, but here in Texas, they do not sell cars, motorcycles, nothing on Sundays. So typically, the Harley dealerships are closed on
On
Sundays.
Mondays. Well, they're closed on Mondays right here, but they're
Yeah,
not there. They're closed on Sundays.
they're closed on
Interesting.
Sundays, so they don't do any events. Remember how, like in Georgia, they'll have like
Yeah.
a Saturday they'll probably do this, but a Sunday they'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. So I have to get used to that. That if I'm going to a Harley dealership, it's going to be on a Saturday where they're
Okay.
actually open and doing business, because it's not.
Is it the Jesus thing? Is that what it is? Like the Christian part, the church and all of that? Sorry to,
Yes.
I don't mean to trivialize what that is. I just
No,
meant,
it
is
is.
that the aspect of it? Okay.
Hmm.
I hope I
Listen,
didn't offend anyone. I didn't mean
listen.
it
That
like
is
that.
very important that these heathens are not out drinking
Or riding
on
bikes.
Sunday. They need to be in church. They need to be learning about the Lord and how they're gonna do that when they're inebriated. Blue laws,
When they're buying
not on Texas
vehicles,
in my town.
no buying vehicles on Sundays.
Can't be
Okay.
out buying cars and getting drunk.
It's all good though. It's it's I'm getting used to as far as that
It
goes.
does.
But there's a ton to do though. There's a lot of just fun family things that you can do, places that you can go. There's like racetrack there. I didn't realize that in Fort Worth there was a NASCAR event happening this past weekend. There
Wow.
was the MotoGP in Austin, which is 3 hours down the road. So there's a lot going on. Rodeos, all kind of stuff. So I'm excited to experience all of the Texan vibes that we're here for.
Well, Sharon, out of curiosity, how are things going with you? How's your love life?
Stop.
Why are we talking about this? We can talk about bikes if you want. Things
Any
are good.
cool dates that you've been on lately?
Yeah. What's up with your
Okay.
dating life?
I know, right? Sorry, put you on the spot.
Okay.
So I did go out last week. I
okay.
did go out with a guy that was visiting. His workstation was oh my god, his workstation was across from the radio station where I was doing an interview, and so I struck up a conversation with him. He is not someone who lives here in town, and so he's from out of state, and he asked me if I wanted to go get a drink, and I was like, sure.
Why not?
So we wound up having dinner, and very nice guy, but he doesn't live here. He lives in
In Texas,
Missouri.
right?
not in Texas, like
Where-
far away, but that was fine.
Okay.
I was happy to go out. I was brave. Like, I love that I was like, yes, I'll go, and stranger kind of, but it was fun. I mean, that's been it.
Yeah.
So
I'm proud of you, Sharon.
Are you proud
Where'd you strike up the conversation with him at?
Stop.
it was, where did I strike?
Were you
Wait,
at
what?
work? Were you at 10 Lizzie's? What's up?
I was at the
No.
radio station, and I
Oh,
was
okay.
so he was he asked me questions about what we were doing, and I was like, oh, anyway, nice guy. I normally am not the kind of person that's just like, yes, I'll go out with you. I met you 5 minutes, but yeah, I was brave
Oh, okay. So
so
this is somebody that you met like in person
that
for
day.
the first
Mhm.
time that day. Okay. I'm following
Yes.
what Chuck's putting down then.
Oh,
I
what
was
you
like,
what were you
Yeah.
talking
I
about?
thought it was
Chuck? I
somebody that
missed
you
it.
met and
No.
then you guys decided to, like, he was in town for work and then,
Oh.
He was a
Oh,
sailor on leave.
oh my God, I got it now. I was like,
you know
why
what I'm
did you
talking
ask
about?
that?
Right.
Yes.
It wasn't like,
Okay.
it wasn't like Tinder or anything like that. It's just, I'm just saying I wasn't sure if she met a guy at the bar. I was just trying to figure out the scenario here.
Okay, got you.
What I'm asking for, information in the scenario. That's all I'm doing.
Listen, this is the sad part about my life is that very few things compete with like the joy that I have riding my
Yeah.
bike on my own, being at my house with my little dog. Someone's got to bring better than or add to the piece that I already have. So
How many
it's a
cc's
tall
is your
order.
Sportster?
1,200, yo.
They got to bring more than 1,200 cc's.
Yeah.
If they want a second date.
Well,
No, I mean, he's a very nice guy. I was happy I was brave, but generally speaking, I just kind of do my own thing.
who knows?
Who knows? I'm happy in a lot of ways. So that's
Good.
like so funny that you even asked. I'm actually happy that I was like, oh no, I haven't been on a date in like 2 months. I was happy to be able to say that to you, Chuck. That was like a surprise question from you. So
You
I'm
both
glad I had
you,
something.
you both are blocking me from messing with Sharon, so I'll drop it.
What? What? You can't mess with.
You,
Okay,
you
bring
know
it.
me.
Bring it.
I'm always trying to give you a hard time.
He be egging.
What hard time are you going to give me about that?
All right, Sharon took that to a weird place, so we're gonna,
Wait, did I say
No,
hard time and you're going to
yes.
say that's what you said?
That's what
Oh,
she
for
said.
God's sake.
I switched to your camera. I saw the innuendo. I saw it.
I didn't mean it. Oh, for God's sake. Okay. Difficult time. This is what we're going to say.
Yeah.
Difficult time. I'm not
All
going to
right.
say we say we're arriving. I'm not going to go somewhere and like, I'm not coming. I'm arriving. Got it?
Yeah,
I'm going to change
please.
all kinds of words in my vocabulary just for you, Chuck.
I appreciate
We're
that.
having to make you to change the way you speak. But what I was going to say was, that I said he's from Texas because it could be that when you come here, you might find somebody from Texas.
Am I find a cowboy?
And then
And then I need
you'll
to move?
here, and then you can be producer chaos again.
Yeah, I'm
all
on
I'm
that
saying.
plan. If he's from Texas, I'm in. Every time I'm like, "How's your love life?" Oh, I met this guy. Is he from Texas? He's
What
not
part
from
of Texas? Has to
Mm.
be Dallas, right? Because isn't Texas like
Yeah,
ginormous?
it's huge.
Where's he from? Frisco? All right.
If he's from Waco, that's a couple hours.
Yeah, it can't be South Dallas right now. It can be North Dallas.
South Dallas, golly. All right, you're making a really small geographic space for me. I don't
I'm
know.
making it very it's very esoteric. Only
Nice word. God dang, Chuck.
throwing them out there. I had another $10 word loaded up. All right. Well, listen, Sharon, it has
Yes.
been so good catching up with you. Obviously, we miss you, and
I miss you
it's
too.
not the same without you. But hopefully, we get to do this a lot. Anytime we do a Just Us, we're going to reach out and make sure that you're available.
Oh, thank you. I would love that. This has been my Monday night for like a year, so it was a huge
I know.
adjustment. And I liked catching up with you all so much and being part of it. So I really thank you even for letting me do that in the beginning. But
Well,
this has been a pleasure for me tonight.
it
So
needs to
thanks.
stay on your website, your IMDb, everything. Don't take it
Okay.
off. You're still our producer, no matter what anybody says.
All right. I'm going to take a look and make sure I still have it everywhere. I don't think maybe, who knows? But okay, I'm producer cast no matter what.
That's right. No
No
matter,
matter
what.
what.
No matter
Z?
what.
No
Oh,
matter
mwah.
what.
Sharon, do you have anything you want to say before we head out? You want to plug anything, your show, all that good stuff?
Oh, I mean, no, I'm just happy to be producer chaos with you guys. It's actually so nice to just get my mind back to where we used to be and talk about bikes so much and the things that I think about as I'm riding and experiencing. Like even going to the dealerships. I did go to the Atlanta Harley dealership last week and looked at some different bikes. So we can talk about that next time. But I think of you guys all the time, so it's fun
Yeah.
to talk about it now.
Well, since Sharon won't do it, let me just go ahead and say that Sharon is the host of one of the best radio shows that talks to entrepreneurs in all of Atlanta. It's called Business Radio X. Go ahead and Google Sharon Klein, Business Radio X.
Yeah.
In addition to that, she's also an awesome voiceover artist. And if you need anything, I don't know, narrated, commercial done, Sharon's your girl. Give it a shot.
Oh my gosh. So Sharon's podcast is Fearless Formula on Business Radio X. Fearless Formula.
Hey, we miss you too, Tim.
You guys are great. Oh,
Miss
All right.
you.
We love you,
guys,
Sharon.
thank
We're-
you. Thank you, guys. I love
Yeah.
you.
We'll talk to you in a couple weeks at most.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds
Z,
like a
take-
plan.
Z, take us out.
All right. Love you, Sharon. And make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and share. Thank you.
All right. Peace.
Bye.
Shiny side up.
Bye.
Good show. Good show. Good
Good
show.
show. Good show.